Welcome to the Elms College Moodle tutorial for adding assignments into your categories once your gradebook categories have been set up. So step 2 of having your gradebook really do the most work for you is to now go add assignments into the categories that we've created in our gradebook. So we are going to add an assignment, which you can do this step by step through looking at how to add an assignment tutorial located in this course. I'm going to go up and add a resource. I'm going to choose that I want to do an advanced uploading of files. Let's say I'm having each group submit me a PowerPoint presentation as well as a document file, so I will have them submit more than one file, so therefore I choose advanced uploading. I'm going to call this Research Project 1. So for this particular project, I have told them the details of the project. I've posted those details in another PDF under course-wide resources, so I'm going to remind them of that. I can choose to display this description on my page. I'll do that to show you how that works. Now, if I was really teaching this course, we would have to enable this, so I'm going to actually say that I teach on Tuesdays. So I would put it out on a Tuesday, and therefore I would have it due the following Monday. That's how our MBA timeframes work. Don't forget that this is military time, so I'm going to give them until just about midnight, and I'm actually going to open it up for them at noon that day. So make sure you remember to change these because it is military time. The other thing, I do not want any late submissions. I will not grade them, so I'm going to prevent late submissions. Here's where you get to tell it how many points this is worth. So if it was worth, whatever your grade is, I'm going to have it be worth 100 points. I am going to not use a rubric. That's a different demonstration. Here's something important. So when you set up a graded assignment, you want to now choose a category. We have 2 to pick from. We are going to put this into our projects category, which we know then will get averaged together with the other projects, and that'll count as 60% of my overall course. Size is important, so in this particular thing it could be large. I'm going to let them upload the limit. I will allow them to delete it and add a new one. I will not be grading these until it's due, so I will say yes, you can do whatever you want until the due date. I only want 2 files. I want a Word doc and I want a PowerPoint or some presentation file. I will allow them to give me notes if they'd like to. I think that that's very helpful, so I will change that. I am not going to hide the description. They are certainly welcome to see it. I do not want to be alerted every time that they email me or every time something is posted, so I'm not going to do that. And I'm also not going to have this be sent for marking. Once that due date has come, that's the end of it. I'm not using groups in this demonstration, and I will change this not to have an activity completion. So I'm going to save this and return to my course. So now what we've done is we've added, actually we put it in the wrong spot, so let's move that. So I'm going to edit my layout. I want to move this. I'm going to put this into week 2. There we go. So in week 2, we now have a research project that will be due. That project will go into our projects category, which is weighted 60% of our course. I'm going to add one more assignment there. So I'm going to add another resource. I am going to put this in week 2, so I'm going to select week 2 so I don't have to move it at the end. And I'm going to add a forum. I'm going to make this a graded forum, and it's going to count towards weekly discussion, and participation points. So I'll have them comment towards discussion question 2 in the text, page 59. So I've told them what this is going to be. It is going to, sure, we can display that on the screen. I'm going to force their subscription, and I'm also going to turn the tracking on. I do not want any files. I want them to type in the box, so uploads are not allowed. Therefore, this should go to 0, but I'll put it there anyway. Here's again the important part. So we've created categories already in our gradebook, so therefore this assignment, which is a forum, needs to be categorized somewhere. It's going to go into our participation. So we just checked that drop-down box. Now I want this to be a graded forum, so I'm actually going to use the ratings, which will allow me to put a grade on the forum post. So I'm going to say that I want to actually take, I'm going to use the average. I'm going to say that this particular course has more than one faculty member, so we each get to rate it, and the average of those 2 ratings will then be counted towards their participation grade. I'm not going to do any groups. I'm not going to restrict access. If I was really teaching this course, I would, because I wouldn't want it to be available until the week that we're in. And I'm also going to change this because many of my students do not like that checkbox. I'm going to save this and go back to my course. So in week 2, we've just put 2 assignments into the week, which will then go into the gradebook in the appropriate place. So we could check that out by going on to the course administration block on the left, go down to grades, and you can see here's 1 weekly discussion and 1 research project that go into these categories. Just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to add 1 more discussion forum so that you can see how that comes in. So in week 3, I'm going to go add another forum. Again, we can not click this box just so that you see the difference. I will make it a forced subscription. I want them to do it. I'm going to turn this on. I don't want any files, and I will not accept any files. Key to this is you got to actually select a category. I'm going to put it into discussion. I am going to grade this, and I'm going to say OK. I'm going to leave this here so you can also see the difference. So save and return to course. So here's what our students see. So I'm going to turn my editing off. And this is what our students would look at. They would see this particular week we have a research project and a discussion forum. This particular week we have the discussion forum. You can see when I check the boxes to show the description shows right under it. This one I did not, to show you the difference. This one has the completion checkbox that the student can check themselves so that they can keep track of it. And these 2 did not. So again, that's your prerogative on how your students and how you like that to look yourself. So I'm going to demonstrate again by going into the grades. Now you can see we have 2 different activities here that will be averaged together and then weighted. Now how do I know this? I can go into my categories. Here we see the 2 different categories. We take an average of those, and then they will be weighted 40% of the overall class.